Welcome back into Southeastern 16. I'm Chase Robinson. That is Jay Greeson, as we are giving you an early prediction of this week one matchup between the Auburn Tigers and the Baylor Bears out in Waco, Texas. And it's some Friday night football. We're not used to that, Friday night college football, but we've got some, as Auburn will be taking on Baylor, as that will be on Friday night, August 29th. The Auburn Tigers will get things underway. And it'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on Fox is where you can watch that. Very interesting game here. We're going to dive into it from all different aspects, Jay, but just as we kind of take a 30,000-foot view here of this matchup, your just initial thoughts on Auburn taking on Baylor to start a very important year for the Auburn Tigers.
It can't be overstated. Not only the season for Hugh Freeze, but this game for a PTSD fan base. Mired in, I think the stat I saw, the worst 4-year Auburn football run since World War II. It is, and don't think Big 12 pushover. This is if you had to bet on either one of these teams being a playoff team, the path is easier for Baylor to be a playoff team in the Big 12 than it is for Auburn being in the middle of the pack in the SEC. And they return some dudes, especially on offense.
Yeah, they do, which makes for an interesting game. This will be the first game for Jackson Arnold as starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers. And, there's been a lot of talk about him. He's got a lot of talent around him, but I think every Auburn fan's just sitting here waiting to see what Jackson Arnold is going to bring to his team, and they're going to find out on August 29th.
They assuredly are. Hugh Freeze, we're taping this Wednesday, July 30th, and as Auburn kicks off its preseason drills, Hugh Freeze met with the media this week and updated a handful of things, including the status of Malcolm Simmons, who adds even more depth to what very well could be the best wide receiver room in the country in Auburn, Alabama. So Jackson Arnold is going to have a bevy of shiny new toys with Eric Singleton, with Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, and a slew of other guys. So this has got to be, the time is now, Hugh Freeze, and the team is in front of you, and it starts with a very difficult test.
Baylor made some portal additions on defense. Their defense wasn't stellar a year ago. Dave Aranda, it's his side of the ball. So they made some portal additions to beef up the defense, which I feel like, and we look at these kind of matchups and think, okay, this is not a pushover game. We know that this is the team that's going to come at you. It interests me just with what they have done on defense. Jackson Arnold's first game, how those two things match, because they're gonna challenge Jackson Arnold. We know that.
Well, that's going to be the design, and Dave Aranda, the Baylor head coach, has a celebrated defensive background. He was a great DC in multiple stops. The truth, though, is that Baylor, they went to the portal in desperate need of being able to find guys who can generate a pass rush. They only had 23 sacks all of last year, and 15 of those came in just 3 games. So you take those 3 games out, they average less than a sack a game. And if Jackson Arnold is allowed time with those guys running patterns that he has at his disposal, you've got to feel pretty comfortable that Auburn's going to find ways to move the football. The bigger question here, well, the biggest question every time we talk about Auburn is going to be the quarterback play. Baylor does not share that same question. Sawyer Robertson is a dude and was a top 10 national guy with a passer rating north of 82. And the college passer rating, as a reminder, is on the scale of 1 to 100, as opposed to the NFL passer ranking system, which is like, I think you max out at like 158.3. And whoever came up with that needs to be kicked in the shins, because that makes no sense to anyone. But Sawyer Robertson threw for over 3,000 yards, had 28 touchdown passes a year ago, the complement of skill guys he has. And I don't know, you're going to have to be ready for this. Do you know who his backup quarterback is?
Auburn,
I
know it's a transfer guy.
Walker White.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a little intel, I imagine Walker White is going to be spending some time with in the defensive room on various checks and whatever else he may have acquired in his time at Auburn.
That's an excellent point there. So you look at, and you mentioned Sawyer Robertson has got some nice pieces around him. You've got running back Bryson Washington, who's returning. He brings kind of a veteran presence there running the ball. They got Ashton Hawkins, a receiver, to transfer in, and a slew of other guys who, look, they want to start the season off on a high note too. And I feel like this offense facing Auburn's defense, they're gonna be creative. They're gonna utilize a lot of guys. How do you see kind of Auburn's defense being able to combat Robertson and some of these guys for Baylor offensively?
Well, Kieran Lee is going to be tested by Josh Cameron, who had 52 catches and 10 touchdowns last year, and that dude is electric. I mean, if you want to hear the definition, the statistical definition of electric with the ball in your hand, Josh Cameron averaged 21 yards per punt return last year, Chase. And they're going to add Kobe Prentice from Alabama in the portal. I still have not seen yay or nay whether the Hawkins kid is going to be eligible. He's fighting under some eligibility, NCAA trying to petition for an extra year under the Diego Pavia rules. But they've got two running backs. You mentioned the Washington kid. One, Dawson Pendergrass, is also close to 700 yards last year. And those two guys combined for 18 rushing touchdowns. So this is an offense that can sling it and they can run with it. And man, oh man, doesn't the name Dawson Pendergrass sound like he was going to be on Wyatt Earp's side at the OK Corral? I mean, that's just a great cowboy name, Dawson Pendergrass.
Yeah, it is. This is an intriguing game for a lot of different reasons. Obviously, Auburn, the team we focus on the most. This is a good way to set the tone for the season, and it's an away game. It against a team who I was looking. There's a lot of people who are picking Baylor to be in the Big 12 championship game. Like, this is not a pushover team, like we've been saying. That maybe when you hear the word Baylor, you don't always think of, okay, this is a contender of college football. When it comes to Auburn, just their approach, knowing how important this season is. I mean, to me, this is such a tone-setting game on a Friday night in Waco, Texas, that Auburn they have to be as locked up to me in this game as any other because of the way it starts the season.
I completely agree. And it 100% will set a tone, and that tone will either be negative or positive. There is no way for this not to set a tone, because
right.
If everybody in the country is going to be watching, because it's not on that full first Saturday. It's on Friday night. So it's going to be appointment viewing for just about every college football fan across the country. So the dominoes either fall forward or they fall backward, but they will fall after this game for Hugh Freeze and for a fan base dying for a reason to believe.
Yeah, that's most certainly right. And very interesting game here between Auburn and Baylor. So, Jay, sitting right here, the end of July, getting ready to head into August, what would be your, Auburn has to do this? They have to do this in order to beat Baylor week one. What are a couple, factors for Auburn in this game to you?
Cam Coleman involved early. And whether you start it with bubble screens, you let him run over the middle, You're going to have to take some shots with Eric Singleton. You're going to have to. The three-headed running back committee is going to need somebody to step forward and be him in the long line of Auburn running backs. I think most importantly is Keldric Faulk is going to need to get formally introduced and become quite familiar with Sawyer Robertson. And look, he's a dude. He's a first-round talent. Looks the part. Long, big. I mean, did you see his arms at SEC Media Days? It looked like he could reach out into my F-150 and turn the car on from the Times Free Press building. I mean, but honestly, if you let Sawyer Robertson get comfortable with the duality of that Baylor offense and you let that crowd get going, it not only could be a long day, it could be an ugly day.
Yeah, that's very true. Who are you picking in this one, Jay?
Well, I am with my Game Time Sidekick Cup of my alma mater. I told this to somebody that, look, there are two groups of Auburn fans. There are the group that says that the glass is half full, is not only completely full, it's delicious. And I'm in that group. Or there's the group that says the glass is half empty and it's poisonous and that glass is cracked and you're going to cut your lip if you drink out of it. And that's the other side. There is nobody in the middle going, let's wait and see. It's either, by God, this could be 2017 again, or by God, we're ready to fire Hugh Freeze. There is no in between. The middle of that Oreo is barren. It's been licked off like I held it in front of my dog. But I think Auburn, because of the desperation, because of the stakes here, I think Auburn's going to play well. And so I'm going to take Auburn. But look, you're not only right that a lot of people are picking Baylor. Auburn started as a 1 or a 2-point favorite in this game. The odds have flipped to the other side. There are a lot of the legalized online sports folks now have Baylor as a slight home favorite.
Yeah, which is really interesting to me, and will be interesting to follow that as we get closer. So yeah, I think in this game I'd take Auburn too. And again, we're recording this into July, so a lot can happen between now and August 29th when they kick this off. So if you watch this later, understand that if there's injuries, whatever, as practice is going, this is a early prediction for this game. And so we will be back to preview and predict it more as we get closer to kicking it off on August the 29th. But Auburn-Baylor should be a great game, really interesting game to start off the season for both teams. Want to tell you about Game Time Sidekicks, Auburn fans. You can go get your Game Time Sidekick, as is Baylor fans. Jay has a Auburn cup right there. So Auburn fans, you know what you can get there. Officially licensed stainless steel drinkware, all SEC schools, plus 350 more universities, top of the market quality as far as construction and ice retention. They have that double wall vacuum insulated stainless steel logos and designs. There's so many of them to choose from for every school. They even have the college vault line. They have everything from stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce plus bottles, and shaker cups. You can get a 20% discount using promo code SE16. That is SE16, 20% discount to you, the viewers, at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Also, I got to tell you about Rockform. Yeah, Rockform.com, the world's strongest magnetic phone cases. They've got the mounts, the secure mounts you can put in your car, your motorcycle, whatever it is there for your magnetic phone case. They've got speakers, golf accessories, all kinds of great stuff there. Go check them out, Rockform.com. That is R-O-K, Rockform.com. Support those who support us. Back with more SEC football content soon here on Southeastern 16.